yes, I do believe global warming is a problem that we're all facing today. It's a problem that has been discussed quite heavily in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and it is coming to fruition, everything that was predicted. What they had not anticipated that took so long for global warming to take effect was that water with its very high heat capacity actually was absorbing the vast majority of the heat that was in the environment. The ocean waters can no longer tolerate the increased temperature and without it having some effect on our climate. And you can see these effects not necessarily by increased hurricanes, but you can see these effects by changes in climate that are drastic, such as floods and extreme drought and winter weather in April, in May, and what you're seeing in Denver, those drastic changes in climate that we had not anticipated. But the most unfortunate part of global warming is the fact that we're seeing it in every aspect of our lives. We have very warm weathers, where records being broken everywhere. We've already had more than 200 records broken in the month of April, and we're going to see an increase in the number of broken records over the summer because we had an extremely cold late winter, and I think we're going to have a very hot, long summer, and it's all due to global warming.
I don't know anything about it, sorry.
Global warming is affecting every part of the world. Just like in Africa, there's no water right now and everybody's fighting for water.
Honestly, I think global warming, presents a definite challenge, but it's almost a seemingly insurmountable one. And that if you say CO2 is a greenhouse gas, and you say that all these cars are producing CO2, well, aren't people producing CO2 too? What are you going to do, tell people to stop breathing? Doesn't make sense. I definitely think we do need to reduce our dependence on oil and go to like electricity or something, but I don't think that it's gonna stop the warming of the planet because that's impossible.
Okay. Basically, the Earth's warming is cyclical, meaning if we're not in a period of warming right now, then we eventually will encounter one. If we can attribute the increasing levels of CO2 in the air to rising temperature, then if we as humans produce more and more CO2 every day, then we'll eventually see a rise in the temperature as well, if they're correlated together, which it has been seen that they are. So, a solution to this would be really difficult to come up with, mostly because there's so many different ways of thinking in this world. It'd be really hard to get everyone to think the same way, to unify for a common solution. So, as of now, a solution really isn't feasible.
I think global warming is going to cause a conflict between nations. I think absolutely. I don't know all the answers as to why we've got global warming, but there's no ambiguity that we have it, and it looks like it's going to continue. And that's going to put a lot of strain on resources. And so, yes, countries fight for their own right to get what resources they need, whether it's water, whether it's land, whether it's fish. So there's going to be a lot of problems. And not just between countries, but intra-country, within countries, different regions. Right? Yeah, it's a big issue. There isn't a bigger issue out there at the moment, I don't think.
Since 2003, the Sudanese government, led by dictator Omar al-Bashir, has undergone a policy of genocide in the western region of Darfur.
I don't even know where to start.
Arming Arab Janjaweed militia to fight against rebel forces, they begin targeting civilians and specific ethnic groups, exterminating men, women, and children, and destroying their villages, holding the people in terror and submission.
Speaks anew to the peoples of the world. All who live in tyranny and hopelessness can know the United States will not ignore your oppression or excuse your oppressors. When you stand for your liberty, we will stand with you.
Since then, nothing tangible has been done. Our government has sent money, but it has yet to yield any effects. People are still being killed and displaced at an alarming rate. More recently, Bush threatened al-Bashir and the Sudanese government with various sanctions and a no-fly zone. Meanwhile, the people of Darfur are dying, with millions nearly starving to death in refugee camps. Are these political threats enough? Humanitarian aid agencies continue to fight an uphill battle, and the Sudanese government continues to ignore pressures from the international community. As people of faith and commitment to uphold God's command to seek justice and correct oppression, driven by compassion for the broken and the weak, we refuse to turn our eyes from this issue.
Well, you know, I do not believe that there is any political will in the world today to do anything about Darfur. I think that the world is too distracted with the economic crisis to do anything about that particular situation right now. Besides, this problem is already quite old. This problem began in the 1990s, and it did manage to get the attention of the United Nations authorities to do anything about it, anything serious anyway. After September 11th, the will of the international community to intervene for peacemaking and peacekeeping processes seems to have dried up.
Génesis 47:6 nos dice así: La tierra de Egipto delante de ti está, y lo mejor de la tierra haz habitar a tu padre, a tus hermanos. La tierra de José, ni si entiendes que hay entre ellos hombres eficaces, ponlos por mayorales del ganado mío. El que está hablando ahí es el faraón de Egipto, el cual, por la amistad que hay con José y el problema que está sufriendo la nación judía de la sequía, lo invita a que supla la necesidad de ser ellos los que cuidan el ganado y que sean pastores, cosa que el pueblo egipcio para ellos era un pueblo guerrero. Ellos no querían cuidar vacas ni ovejas, y el pueblo judío era una labor de honra. Entonces suple la necesidad del pueblo egipcio con el talento del pueblo judío. En la actualidad podemos ver el caso del gobierno de Canadá, que invita a poblar a mexicanos a su país para suplir una necesidad. Es lo mismo que debe de suceder en el África, ver el talento, ver las características de ese pueblo para suplir en otra nación, que sean beneficiadas ambas partes.